Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Philadelphia, this is CBS 3 Eyewitness News this morning.
Watch your step. This was the scene overnight at Independence Mall. Steady rain is making for slippery roads and creating puddles of water.
And a live look at Storm Scan 3 showing all that rain covering the region. We will tell you when it will turn to snow and how much snow will fall.
Well, today is Friday, March 2nd. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Donovan.
And I'm Rahel Salman. Let's head straight over to Katie with a check on today's forecast. Hi, Katie.
Hey, guys. Yeah, things are starting to get underway. Obviously, we have already seen some pretty decent rainfall across the region. The winds aren't terrible yet. They will only get stronger as we've been discussing. Now, at the moment, there is, and we talked about this possibility too, a little bit of a lull in the precip down through the Delmarva Peninsula. Already some cold air wrapping in, though, a place like Lancaster County. So you might be already finding a little bit of very light snow mixing in here. Here's a look at just some of the current gusts. Those gusts are beginning to crank in the 20s, 30s, now up to 40 miles per hour in Dover. These are just your gusts. Let's look at the actual wind speeds in a couple of spots. Places like Atlantic City, you're at 9 miles per hour. That is small change by comparison to what you're going to find later on today, especially, well, really, anywhere. These winds are going to be incredibly strong. 43 the current temperature at the airport, so it is still mild. That's why it's strictly rain for now. But eventually, as the cold air wraps in with this very intense storm system and it's intensifying through the day, we'll start to see that change over to some snow in the city. But again, this wind continues to be the big story for us. At the shore, you're up to 46 degrees, 36 with some snow heavy at times up in the Poconos, and they are going to get a really good thump of that snow up at the ski resorts, Misha.
Katie, good to know, because it's already affecting our morning commute as well. As you head out the door this morning, good morning, by the way, happy Friday. So very wet out there, yes, as Katie just explained. And because of it, like I said, we're already seeing some problem spots out there. No doubt about that. Accident here, Blue Route northbound past 76. One lane was open. It looks like they are just now clearing that out of your way. So that'll kind of help you out a little bit on the Blue Route, although we just know it's going to be some issues all morning long, kind of trickled throughout. So just a heads up, medical emergency here, Vine eastbound, the off ramp to 8th Street. You can see the flashing lights. No volume levels to real sustain any major backups right now, but we know as we approach into the 5 o'clock hour, especially the 6 o'clock hour, if these continue throughout the morning, as I suspect they probably will just because of the driving conditions, we want to factor that into our morning commute. 42 freeway, this is a look at your volume in Jersey. Ben Franklin Bridge, you can just see how wet it is out there. We do have an accident on the PH Turnpike westbound near Norristown. Looks like that's clearing from the left lane. And another accident on the Boulevard northbound at Whitaker Avenue. So the inner lanes are blocked. That's what we're hearing right now. So just a heads up on that. It also looks like you're seeing some yellow. So it looks like as you travel on past there, you're actually traveling a little bit less than posted speeds. Jim, back over to you.
Thank you, Misha. With a storm brewing at sea, the Jersey Shore is doing what it can to protect its beaches, homes, and businesses.
Our Storm Watch coverage continues now with Eyewitness News reporter Trang Doe live in Brigantine. Trang, good morning. What are you seeing there?
Hey, good morning, guys. Right now, it's just a very light, fine mist that actually just started. When we got here about, half an hour ago, it wasn't raining at all, but this fine mist just started. But take a look here out onto the beach. You can already see the preparations that crews made last night. There's lots of heavy equipment here because the biggest concerns at the shore are flooded roadways and high winds. Now, crews pumped more sand onto the beach in Brigantine. You can see here the sand goes all the way up here to the seawall. They're using it as a buffer to further protect streets and homes. And all along the Jersey Shore, we've seen barriers up as well as sandbags. People and businesses also preparing for the possibility of flooding. Now, there's also the possibility of wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour along the coast. So Atlantic City Electric is really warning customers to anticipate outages. Now, power and emergency crews, of course, are on standby for 24 hours throughout the weekend. Now, we are told that coastal flooding could start as early as 5 a.m. That's when the warning goes into effect, and that effect stays until 2 a.m. on Sunday. Something to really note for people who live down the shore, high tide is about at 7:15, and that is when the flooding could start. So people could really be impacted in just a few hours here at the shore. But for now, we're live in Brigantine. I'm Trang Doe, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Trang.
March Madness takes on a whole new meaning as PennDOT works hard to prepare for the nor'easter that could bring snow.
Power outages plus downed trees are also expected, and driving could be challenging. Eyewitness News reporter Jan Caraballo is live along Kelly Drive with the latest on conditions. Morning, Jan.
Jim and Rahel, good morning. Right now throughout the city of Philadelphia, we are only seeing rain. It is just much too mild out here right now for this rain to turn to snow. Even so, we are seeing steady rain, and already we are seeing a lot of ponding on sidewalks like this one. We are coming to you live just off of Kelly Drive, and as you know, some areas of Kelly Drive can see flooding during storms like this, so we are keeping our eyes very close on the changing conditions out here this morning. And guess what? So our PennDOT crews, they are now standing by, keeping watch on flood-prone areas. Unfortunately, unlike is the case with other winter storms, they were not able to pre-treat the roads this time around, mainly because the conditions are just too wet to pre-treat roads. But with that said, PennDOT is treating this winter storm as a snow event. Even so, they realize that they were mainly probably going to be focusing on rain and flooding today. Take a listen.
High winds is going to affect visibility, so conditions could be pretty bad out there. And with a whole day of rain and precipitation, I expect driving to be rather slow. Each county manager on our state highway system knows their flood-prone areas. They know to what areas to check out.
So as you heard there, PennDOT is warning early morning drivers and even drivers throughout the day as we see this steady rain, windy, blustery conditions to take some extra time. Right now, the rain is steady. The wind is not too bad, at least not here along Kelly Drive. But of course, these conditions can change. Now, PennDOT says if they do change over to snow wherever you are in your neighborhood, said don't you worry, they still have 80 tons of salt to play with, so to speak, and get these roads treated. So that is the good news out of all of this. We were reporting live along Kelly Drive this morning. Jan Carabeo, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. Rahel and Jim, back into you.
All right, Jan, looks like they're well stocked. Thank you.
Well, stay ahead of the storm with the Eyewitness weather app. It's available for iPhone and Android devices. Just search for CBS Philly in your app marketplace.
Allentown Mayor Ed Pawlowski must vacate his office now that he's been found guilty in his federal corruption trial. Yesterday, jurors convicted Mayor Pawlowski of 47 of the 54 counts he faced. Charges included conspiracy, fraud, and bribery. Prosecutors accused the Democrat of trading city contracts for campaign contributions. He now faces up to 20 years in prison on each count. No sentencing date has been set. In the meantime, he remains free on bail. Allentown City Council President Roger McLean released this statement saying, "I think it's a sad day for Allentown, but it's also removing a cloud that's been over us since the raid by the FBI. The citizens and employees of Allentown are resilient and will be stronger and move forward. Allentown is a great city to live and work." And in Delaware, the Supreme Court overturns a conviction of 17-year-old Trinity Carr in a fight that left 16-year-old Amy Joyner Francis dead. The two students were fighting inside a bathroom at Howard High School in Wilmington in 2016. An autopsy found that Joyner Francis had a heart condition and died of cardiac arrest. Justices ruled that it was unjust to blame Carr because it was unforeseeable that that fight will lead to the young teenager dying of cardiac arrest.
A former Philadelphia police officer allegedly seen slamming a man in a controversial video is now charged with assault. James Yeager was fired last August after this video surfaced online. In the video, you can see an officer grabbing a handcuffed man and slamming him onto the ground. The video also shows an officer picking up the man and smashing his head into a pool. The Fraternal Order of Police says the video doesn't tell the whole story. Officials now say friendly fire killed a deputy marshal while he was serving a warrant in Harrisburg in January. Original reports suggested 45-year-old Deputy Marshal Christopher Hill was killed in a gun battle with 31-year-old Kevin Sturgis. Sturgis was wanted by Philadelphia police. He was killed in that shootout. In Gloucester County, thousands of students will head back to class today after a threatening email shut down schools in 3 districts. A 10-year-old boy now faces charges in that incident. Police say the boy admitted to sending those emails yesterday. They allegedly referenced shootings at 2 Franklin Township schools. Classes at Franklin, Delsea, and Elk school districts were canceled as a result. Authorities say the boy did not have access to guns.
Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney's annual budget plan is asking taxpayers to shell out more for the city's public schools. The mayor wants city council to increase property taxes by 6%, slow the rate of a planned city wage tax reduction, and increase the real estate transfer tax. We're told the moves could bring an estimated $980 million for the school district over the next 5 years.
Well, as we've been saying, we're tracking a major storm moving through our area this morning.
Meteorologist Matt Peterson is in the mobile weather watcher. Hi, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Jim and Rahel. It is wet out here, to say the least. The road's a little bit slippery as well. We're going to be giving you an update on where the rain is coming down and what the roads are like here in just a little bit.
All right, Matt, we'll see you soon. And the East Coast, we're not the only place dealing with severe weather today. We'll take you out west, where a storm is forcing evacuations as officials worry about possible mudslides.
CBS 3's Mobile Weather Watcher is sponsored by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com.
Well, the West Coast is also dealing with severe weather right now. This was the scene in Truckee, California, near the border with Nevada. Snowplows were out there trying to keep the roads clear. Crews had to close several highways because of whiteout conditions. A blizzard warning is in effect for the Lake Tahoe area, and a winter storm warning is in effect until tomorrow morning. In Santa Barbara, 30,000 people are being ordered to leave their homes. Officials there are worried heavy rain may cause mudslides.
Closer to home, homeowners near Pittsburgh are keeping an eye on a major landslide threatening their homes. The landslide in Kilbuck Township has forced the evacuation of at least 3 homes and a business. Officials say the soil there is sliding an inch or so an hour. More rain and now snow battering the region. Crews say they do not know when they will be able to assess the damage and clean up the mess.
I feel terrible for the people, obviously, that they're losing their homes. But, you know, the feeling of helplessness on the thing is because we can't get any equipment up there. The steepness of the hill and the dangerous condition of the mud and dirt.
That region is also currently under a high wind warning.
Well, time now is 4:43. Katie's here with another check on the forecast.
And Katie's still tracking this coastal storm.
Of course we are. And now it really is looking more like a coastal storm. Yesterday, it looked like we just had a classic mid-latitude cyclone coming our way. They're different. They form differently. This is not a classic nor'easter. It's forming in a different way than they typically do. But the bottom line is the impacts are still very much the same, where we are going to get pounded by wind. We are starting already to see that changeover, see this rotation in the counterclockwise spin already up in northeastern PA. Obviously, it's like the Keystone State is split in half here from State College on west, really. It's all snow, and that's starting to wrap in on the backside of this. So eventually, we're going to see a change over to snow. That's probably not going to take place here in the city until later on tonight. It's just too warm. But we could be on the order of a coating to locally up to 2 inches of snow if it thumps quickly enough and heavily enough before the precip wraps up. A little further north, more of a sure thing of 2 to 4 inches through the Lehigh Valley, parts of Bucks County, and then you go into the Poconos. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want it anyway. There could easily be up to a foot of snow out of this. That high wind warning the anchors were talking about in western PA, that's also true here. We've got a high wind warning from today right through tomorrow morning, and eventually again those gusts are going to get very, very strong. So here are your future wind gusts. Right now they're not too bad. We're starting to notice that. But when you start to see these purples and reds showing up in the map, that's when things are going to get a lot worse with that wind. So even by 10 a.m. We're going to have updates, by the way, continuing throughout the morning here on CBS 3, but also on the web, cbsphilly.com. That's when these gusts are really going to start cranking easily into the 50s, pushing 60 by the time we hit the second half of the afternoon. So that's when it's at its worst, but it's still very windy even into tomorrow. So this is a long-lived event when it comes to the wind. Taking a look, though, forward, the weekend at least does get better. And then beyond this point, heading into the next week, come Monday, we're back to sunshine. The high hits 50 degrees. What a mess this is causing, though, for commuters this morning, and it is only going to get worse. So for a check on how it currently looks, we'll send it on out to meteorologist Matt Peterson. He's with the Mobile Weather Watcher. Hey, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Katie. Good morning, everyone. We are out in the Mobile Weather Watcher on this Friday morning. Right now, across the Philadelphia area, Katie, you were talking about this earlier, and we've been talking about it all week. A little bit of a lull in the action. And right now, the actual rain that's coming down out here just on the Schuylkill Expressway a little bit west of town is actually not all that hard. But what we are seeing is definitely some spray from the roads, and that is definitely making those windshield wipers go. And it's making visibility at times, especially if you get maybe next to a tractor trailer or something like that, it makes that spray a little bit worse, so it's hard to see. As we take a look at what we can expect for our commute, we'll get a look at our graphic. It really is what we're going to be seeing: red lights across the board. Not going to be an easy commute this morning. Rain that is potentially heavy at times. As we get into the afternoon hours, it still really looks like it should just be some rain for us, of course, and then we could see that change over to some snow, some slick areas, especially north of the city through the afternoon, and then later tonight for that PM commute, still little red light. And again, that rain here in Philly possibly changing over even that early to maybe some snowflakes flying around. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. One thing else to see, again, I talked about visibility being a problem with spray off of the road. We also need to see if we do get some blowing snow later, that could cause some issues with those visibilities as well. So that's what's going on. Again, right now here out on the roads, not too much happening with rain falling, but still it's not going to be an easy commute, Misha.
And you know, Matt, yes, that's exactly what we're seeing kind of all over the Delaware Valley. We're seeing accidents start to pop up. So we know that even the little bit most part of rain can slow us down. And then you take what we're experiencing this morning and we know it's going to be a busy and slow commute. Heed the warning, get out there early and drive the speed limit. 95 south at Cottman, you can just see how wet it is. I know Matt was out around the Schuylkill. We're looking right now at an accident at 309 northbound near Welsh Road. By the way, this accident does involve injuries as well. Lots of people starting to drive up here, put on their brakes, kind of take a peek at what's going on. So you have a whole host of issues going on here. The right lane was compromised. It looks like the left lane might actually be compromised now too. Either way, drivers are coming up, putting on their brakes and figuring out how to get through this area. So if you're just heading out the door right now, and because of visibility issues, like Matt said, is going to play a factor and it's rainy and we have accidents out there, give yourself extra time. Another accident, Boulevard southbound at Fox Street. That left lane is compromised there, and we have one on the PA Turnpike. Westbound near Norristown, that one has now just cleared, but one on the Boulevard is still out there. Boulevard northbound at Whitaker Avenue. Some of the inner lanes are blocked, not exactly how many, but just know that if you head out there right now, maybe give yourself a couple extra minutes. Jim and Rahel, over to you.
Thank you, Mish. Well, it's a sign that spring is almost here. The Philadelphia Flower Show.
Yes, the doors officially open tomorrow, but we managed to get inside early. A sneak peek next on Eyewitness News.
Hope we didn't break in.
Happening this weekend, a preview of spring inside the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Organizers are putting the finishing touches on the Philadelphia Flower Show, which opens tomorrow morning. This year's theme, The Wonders of Water, focuses on how to protect and conserve water sources. We have a link to more information on the Flower Show. Just head on over to our website, cbsphilly.com.
Yeah, friends, heading there tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Opening day, yes. Time now is 4:51. Time for Check on Business News.
Money Watch's Diane King Hall joins us live this morning from the New York Stock Exchange. Good morning, Diane. So President Trump's announcement that he is imposing tariffs on imported steel and aluminum really rattled Wall Street yesterday. Let's walk through this reaction a little bit.
That's right. Good morning, Rahel and Jim. The tariffs on steel and aluminum announced by President Trump set off fears of a global trade war, triggering a sell-off on Wall Street. Yesterday, the Dow tumbled 420 points. The Nasdaq skidded 92 points. The decision by Trump comes after China and other foreign producers drove down prices, making it difficult for American producers to compete. The president tweeted, "We want free, fair, and smart trade." Meantime, stocks in Asia also posted losses this morning. Rahel and Jim.
Well, Diane, you know, social media completes my life, and I find it very difficult to step away. And I understand I'm not the only one.
I'm sorry. Were you saying something to me, Jim? I was just about to tweet. Okay, so how hard it is to give up social media seems to depend on your age. A new survey by Pew Research shows that 40% of respondents say it would be difficult for them to give up social media. I get that. That is up from just 28% 4 years ago. Younger millennials will have the most challenging time giving up posting, tweeting, etc. Users over 50 have the easiest time logging off. Jim Rahel.
Oh, no. I believe I am like a millennial.
He is.
I am very childlike, and therefore, I'll have difficulty. Yes.
Actually,
I understand. I mean, like, it's part of our business in a way, too, but it's every now and then I unplug, but I usually can't unplug from all of them. I'll at least, like, stay connected on one, just to kind of give a break.
No, I've done social media cleanses, and it's the best. It's the best thing ever. I don't miss it at all, but then, yes, it's a part of the job.
I know.
We'll check in with you next hour. Thanks, Diane.
All right, thank you.
Well, of course, we're tracking a powerful nor'easter that's moving through our area.
Yeah, we're going to check in with Katie when we come right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday to you. This is an interesting finish to the week. We are going to be dealing with rain, wind, snow as the primary big three issues with this storm, which is still starting at this point now to just intensify. And you've got a lot of moisture being pulled into this. At the moment, it's primarily too warm for anything but plain old rain, but we are expecting some coastal flooding out of this as well. So let's turn our focus briefly to the shore, where you've got a coastal flood warning posted until 2 a.m. Sunday. Yes, it goes until Sunday because this is also coinciding with a full moon. So you're going to have multiple high tide cycles that come in here at above average levels for all of these different reasons. A huge storm, and then also the wind, also the swells, and the full moon. At Rehoboth Beach, your next high tide comes in around 7:50. We're expecting the next high tide to come in really anywhere between about 7:30 and upwards of just after 8 a.m. along the Jersey shore today. And then again, a few more high tide cycles have to come in before this is no longer a problem. In the meantime, we are still looking at that rain eventually turning to snow. Big thump of snow in the Poconos especially. It'll turn over to snow even here in the city and possibly wrap up, Misha, with a quick coating, locally up to 2 inches or so.
Man.
But what a mess of a day.
Honestly, what a mess for a Friday heading into the weekend. Absolutely. All right, so pack your patience. You're going to have to leave early. You're going to have to give yourself some extra time, and you're really going to have to drive safe out there. So we've had accident after accident so far this morning, and we're not even in the 5 o'clock hour. We have an accident here, 309 northbound near Welsh Road. You can see all those flashing lights. The good news is when we pull up a backup shot to this, there really isn't any. Sure, volume levels are starting to build behind it just a little bit. You might tap your brakes, have a little bit of gap or delay, but really good thing it is still before the 5 o'clock hour. Quick peek at Vine at 95. You can see just how wet it is, but we still have this accident down the boulevard northbound at Whitaker Avenue. Inner lanes are blocked here. We're going to be talking more about some accidents coming up, but first I want to show you this one in New Jersey that just popped up. New Jersey Turnpike northbound before Route 33. That right lane, the inner roadway right now is blocked. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you, Misha. Coming up in the next hour of Eyewitness News, our Team 3 coverage of the nor'easter continues. We'll check back on the conditions at the shore.
Plus, we aren't the only ones bracing for the storm. We'll show you more on how residents in New England are also getting ready.
And we'll show you what some of Hollywood's biggest stars will be dining on after the Academy Awards on Sunday. We're back at the top of the hour.